What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below right now, as it's completely free to do so. And this way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember those times and tune in at those times so you don't miss out. And also, thanks for hitting the like button in this video. In this video, we'll be talking about stimulus checks being proposed because of gas prices and inflation. And there are at least 3 or 4 bills being proposed on the national level for everybody here in the country, in addition to state stimulus checks and state stimulus proposals. We're going to be going over that in this video. There are actually monthly stimulus checks on the table right now. And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki just tested positive today for the virus and was in close contact, or what she says, semi-close contact with the president ahead of his trip to Europe, which starts tomorrow. The president will be traveling to Europe and Poland, which is right next to Ukraine and Belarus. He won't be traveling to Ukraine, but he will be traveling to Poland and other parts of Europe. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has tested positive for the second time now, even though she's fully vaccinated. She says, today, in preparation for travel to Europe, I took a PCR test this morning. That test came back positive, which means I will be adhering to the CDC guidance and no longer be traveling on the president's trip to Europe, she said in a statement. She met twice with Biden yesterday, but both interactions were socially distanced, and she is not considered a close contact. So she met with him, but is not considered a close contact. So I don't know. You could tell me what that means. The CDC defines a close contact as someone who was less than 6 feet away from an infected individual for more than 15 minutes. Biden tested negative on today, Psaki said. She says, thanks to the vaccine, I have only experienced mild symptoms in alignment with White House protocols. I will work from home and plan to return to work in person at the conclusion of a 5-day isolation period and a negative test. Last week, the second gentleman, which is Vice President Kamala Harris's husband, tested positive as well, though Vice President Kamala Harris has not tested positive yet. And he was not considered a close contact of the president either, and Vice President Kamala Harris has not tested positive yet either. Also interesting is the White House no longer requires individuals to wear masks in accordance with the CDC and Washington, D.C. guidelines. So Jen Psaki was probably not wearing a mask. Jen Psaki says that Biden will not go to Ukraine during this Europe trip. And, well, I would hope so, because I don't think the president wants to actually go to Ukraine. It's literally a war zone, literally a war zone. They have urged all Americans to evacuate from Ukraine, and they're nearing 5 million people. Probably here in the upcoming days will have evacuated from Ukraine. So I don't think that that would be a wise move for the president. Also, the president announced, he says here, that Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, the 3 credit bureaus, have announced that they will no longer record most medical debt on credit reports. This is a step in the right direction, and we will be fighting for consumers from increasing transparency to prevent surprise billing and more. So this is a major step here going forward. You can see here from the Wall Street Journal that most medical debts to be removed from consumers' credit reports. There are actually tens of millions of people that have medical debt on their consumer credit reports. So Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are making sweeping changes to how they report medical debt in collections beginning this summer, and they will strip tens of billions of dollars in medical debt from consumers' credit reports, erasing a black mark that makes it harder for millions of Americans to borrow. They are making broad changes on how they report medical debt beginning this summer. The changes, which have already been in the works for several months, will now remove 70% of medical debt in collections accounts from credit reports. Beginning in July, the companies will remove medical debt that was paid after it was sent to collections. These debts can stick around consumers' credit reports for up to 7 years, similar to how bankruptcy is. It can stand on your reporting for 7 years, even after they are paid off. New unpaid medical debts won't get added to credit reports for a full year after being sent to collections. The firms are also planning to remove unpaid medical debts of less than $500 in the first half of next year. That threshold could rise, according to people familiar with the matter. Medical debt is a huge burden for many Americans, millions of Americans. Medical emergencies and unexpected diagnosis often result in giant bills that can easily overwhelm people who otherwise never miss a debt payment. The unpaid bills end up on credit reports, sometimes lowering consumers' credit scores and hindering their ability to get affordable mortgages, car loans, and other credits. The Consumer Finance Bureau estimates that some $88 billion in medical bills sits on 43 million credit reports. Yeah, that's a lot of people. The three credit reporting firm maintain reports on more than 200 million people in the US. So that's about 25% of people there or so, somewhere around there, are going to potentially have this wiped from their credits. So this is a very, very important step here going forward that's going to happen here within the next few months. So I will keep you updated on this matter. Also, one of the major news stories going on right now is gasoline stimulus checks, gas stimulus checks. We're not even sure what they're going to be called yet. This article says gas price stimulus checks, but there are multiple bills being proposed, actual bills being written in Congress right now. We have at least three, maybe four proposals for direct payments, aka stimulus checks, to Americans due to high gas prices and just inflation on the federal level, which would basically mean for everybody in the country that probably makes below $75,000. But also on the state level. On the state level, we have multiple different states proposing stimulus checks on the state level as well. So this could actually mean that a lot of people could actually receive federal stimulus checks, gas stimulus checks, vouchers, whatever they're going to end up finally being called, but stimulus checks from the federal government, and checks or gas tax relief in the form of maybe states pausing gas taxes for their states, or stimulus checks from their states in addition to the federal. So there could be dual kind of stimulus measures going on here, depending on which state you're in. If you've been watching my channel, you know that literally on a daily basis or every couple days, more and more states are announcing measures, proposing measures. They're debating it, they're passing it. Each state is kind of in a different phase of it, and I'll kind of give you more news as I find out about more states. So um, keep that in mind. Now, I'm not picking and choosing states. I always kind of get questions in the comments, but just kind of as I find out about each state, I will kind of go over them. So, I'm not favoring any one particular states, but as I do my research, I will bring them up. So I'm not like, yeah, I always get a question like, what about this state or what about that state? And again, I'm just kind of, as I me and my wife do research every single day. Any particular state that we happen to see, I will bring them up. I'm trying to just really bring them all because I know that we have viewers from all the states here. So any state that comes up during our research, I will let you guys know about. And on the federal level, which is for everybody, of course, these are even better because they, stimulus checks from the federal level, from the government, the House, the Senate, the presidency, those go out for everybody. But the state stimulus checks are exciting too because those can still go out to millions of people as well. So I'm going to just report on anything that comes out because anything that can put money in people's pockets, hey, let's report on it, right? So there are several different proposals here for gas price stimulus checks, gasoline stimulus checks, whatever they're going to be called. So here is kind of some of the most recent details. As you can see here, three proposals for direct payments to Americans due to high gas prices follow similar guidelines to last year's stimulus checks with some differences. House Democrats and some Senate Democrats are working on this as well, have introduced multiple proposals aimed at sending direct payments. Bernie Sanders is one of the co sponsors on a couple of these bills as well, with some, like I said, some Senate Democrats to Americans to help cover high gas prices. The plans have some similarities to the ones that sent the $1,400 stimulus checks to Americans during last year's pandemic. Remember, the pandemic is still going on. The national daily average has been more than $4 a gallon for 2 weeks. It was $4.25 on Monday, down 7 cents from a week ago, but still 72 cents higher than a month ago and $1.37 more expensive than the same date last year. Yeah, inflation is just nasty right now. AAA cited lower crude oil prices as one reason for the slight drop in pumps since last week. But if you watch my video from earlier today, it's now going back up because there was an attack on in one of the countries, and now oil prices is going back up. As you can see here, it's down a little bit today. About even less than 1%. But WTI is up to 111 and Brent crude's up to 115. So that is up higher than where we were. So remember, this was down below 100 or around 100. So this has ticked up a little bit. And they're saying it could go higher because of the attacks here. So we could see gas prices go even higher here. Energy rebate checks to Americans is similar to the third stimulus payment. One proposal by Representative Mike Thompson of California, John Larson of Connecticut, and Lauren Underwood of Illinois would send what they call an energy rebate check of $100 per month per person for individuals, or $200 per month per couple, plus $100 per dependent for each month the national gas price exceeds $4 per gallon. The rebate would be in effect through at least the end of 2021, or I'm sorry, 2022. So, for example, here, just to kind of give people an idea here, to like look at this for the long term, $100 per month for 12 months would equal the $1,200 stimulus check that the first stimulus check was per person. So, $100 per month for 12 months. If we're just kind of like, ballparking it here, $1,200. For two people, $200 per month is $2,400. If you have one dependent, $300 per month is similar to the child tax credit. That's $3,600 for 12 months. Okay. If you have four people, you're looking at $400 per month, or for four, if it went on for 12 months, for as long as gas exceeds $4 per gallon, that could be potentially $4,800. If you have if you have two people and three dependents, you could be receiving $500 per month. It really just depends on how many people are in your family. Okay, this is one proposal. This is one proposal. There's a couple other proposals. The payments would go to people based on their income and would follow the same guidelines as the 2021 economic impact payments. Single filers earning up to $75,000 or up to $150,000 would be eligible. They did not explain how it would be paid for. It'd probably be just like the last stimulus check. They would just, send the checks. Two gas price credit proposals target big oil to pay for them. This does not use the national gas price average as a measuring stick, but does call for households to receive monthly advance tax credits, which are basically just stimulus checks. Remember, a stimulus check is actually a tax credit. Okay. If you've been watching my channel, you kind of have learned that. This would call from taxing oil companies from what DeFazio calls, quote, excessive corporate profits. Okay. Quote, big oil companies will pay a one-time 50% windfall profit tax on any adjusted taxable income in 2022 that exceeds 110% of their average ATI during pre-pandemic levels between 2015 and 2019, DeFazio said in a press release. The size of the payments to Americans would be based on how much money is raised by the tax on the oil companies. A similar bill introduced in March also targets big oil companies, but calls for quarterly payments to Americans who meet the same income thresholds. The extra tax would hit large oil companies that produce or import at least 300,000 barrels of oil per day, or did in 2019. Representative Ro Khanna of California, one of the two main sponsors, said the companies will owe a per barrel tax equal to 50% of the difference between the current price of a barrel of oil and the pre-pandemic average price per barrel between 2015 and 2019. Ro Khanna said it would impact companies such as Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, but smaller oil companies would be exempt. And they said the price of crude oil surged to 118 as of Monday. And I just showed you the current price. It literally fluctuates by the hour. There's another proposal here that would send out $300 per month per person gasoline vouchers. And it also could be converted into cash if you're not a driver or if you don't use all the gasoline vouchers. This also could just be sent out as a check, which would probably be the easiest for the IRS and the government to send out because they're literally just used to sending out $300 per month child tax credits. They're used to sending out stimulus checks. Think about how easy that would be to send out as opposed to, sending out gasoline vouchers and coming up with some creative way to send out an actual gasoline voucher. And think about people that work from home, people who are disabled that maybe don't drive, people that don't drive that much. Think about that, and then people think about people that, the idea behind this is that if you didn't drive as much, you could be able to convert them into cash. It just seems like a complicated way. And there's actually economists that back this because it would help out the economy as well as helping out people right now. And remember that this $300 per month is a very, very doable number because they literally sent that out $250 to $300 per month to 60 plus million children in the form of the child tax credits all last year. And they're trying to figure out how to do that again this year for the child tax credits. And if they can't, it'll go down to $2,000 per year. And remember that also Republican Senator Mitt Romney and several other Republican senators have backed him, has actually proposed a higher amount of monthly checks for the 60 plus million children that could provide up to $4,200 a year $350 per month for children under the age of 6, and the same $3,000 per year or $250 per month for children ages 6 through 17. So, and this is coming from Republicans. So, there is bipartisan support here for monthly checks for the 60 plus million children. So, monthly checks does have a lot of support from both Republicans and Democrats for children, and it's also being proposed here for adults as well in the form of gasoline stimulus checks. So there is really a lot of proposals here and a lot of hope right now. There's also another proposal here that reportedly Axios reported that the White House and President Biden has been considering a prepaid gas card, aka stimulus way to provide people that they could send out prepaid gas cards. Now, remember that last year when they sent out the $1,400 stimulus checks, they did actually send out prepaid debit cards. So, not prepaid gas cards, but some people actually got their $1,400 stimulus checks via prepaid debit cards. That's how they got their stimulus checks. So, they are considering doing prepaid gas cards as a way to potentially provide some stimulus money. So that is an option that's on the table right now, according to some sources in the White House. So that is another option right now. I'll keep you up to date on all these. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on which one of these you like the most. I think really the most important thing is that we get some of these passed. Another good thing would be is that we get more and more states doing this as well, because it's kind of a double check. So double stimulus program, whatever you want to call it here. It'll be interesting to see how these work, what they call them, and it's really nice to see here going in 2022 that we're seeing more and more stimulus continue to go on. I mean, we're literally, I mean, stimulus checks started in 2020, then 2021, and now we're here in 2022. And we do have stimulus checks being passed and issued on the state levels here as well. So 2022 is actually going to be a pretty big year here from the states and the federal level here as well. So I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here that you need to know about, as well as daily news and what is going on here in our country. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on our new videos. It's completely free to do so. Remember that new videos come out here every day on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in at those times so you don't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button so you get reminders when we go live. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can also click here to see some extra money that could be helping people on Medicare and for seniors that could be coming here, an extra change. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.